Joan Marshall is in the studio now, Executive Director of the Maryland College Savings Plan. Joan, what is the Maryland College Savings Plan?
Well, these are state-sponsored plans that are designed to help families save in advance for future college costs and get great tax benefits besides.
It's been around for how many years
Well,
now?
the prepaid plan actually started in 1998, and the investment plan started in 2001. So we're about to celebrate our 10-year anniversary on the investment plan.
All right. Those are the two plans we want to talk about in brief here. We'll go back to the phone lines and take some calls in just a minute, but I want Joan to take a moment here to describe the prepaid college trust in Maryland.
Sure. That plan allows families to lock in a fixed payment that's based in part on today's tuitions at Maryland public colleges.
So if you have a 5-year-old.
Right. You start now.
And you say, this 5-year-old is going to go to the University of Maryland system?
Well, they don't have to go to the University of Maryland system. That's been a big misconception about the plans, because if a family buys into the prepaid plan, when it comes time for their child to go to college, if they go to a Maryland public college, then the prepaid plan will pay the full in-state tuition and mandatory fees that are in effect at that school at that time, whether it's College Park or UMBC or any of those Maryland public colleges. They know they have in-state tuition and mandatory fees covered. But if the child goes to a private or out-of-state school, that's still fine, because in that case, the prepaid plan will pay up to that year's average tuition of the Maryland public colleges toward the tuition at the private or out-of-state school.
Okay, so if you choose to go to a $55,000 a year private school, you'll still get
the weighted average, actually, of the Maryland public colleges.
Say Maryland is what now?
This year it's about $8,400 a year
$8,400
as the
tuition?
weighted average tuition and mandatory fees. So this
Per
doesn't
semester?
include per year.
Per year?
Yeah. So because this doesn't include room and board, which could double those numbers.
Oh, okay.
Or books or supplies. It's tuition and mandatory fees.
So if you were to lock in today, for instance, could you could lock into a fee today? I just need a ballpark of what that would be.
Well, it really depends on the age of the child, which is why it's such an incentive to save early. Well, I have a price handy for a first grader, actually. For a 4-year university plan, they could buy in. It would be $437 a month for a 4-year university plan at last year's prices. But if that same first grader is enrolled in a 2-year community college plan, that would be only $96 a month.
So you'd be paying, what did you say, $437?
$437 a month.
$437 a month
for 132 months, right?
For 12 years. Okay.
And then that would cover the tuition in the future.
That's the prepaid college
plan. That's the
plan.
prepaid college
Kim,
trust.
you like that plan?
Yeah, $437. Would cover 4 years of tuition. Or?
4 years of in-state tuition and mandatory fees, right?
Then you could start at a lot less too. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to go that high,
right? If you can't afford $437 a month, you just buy in a smaller amount of tuition, whether it's 3 years, 2 years, or 1 year, at a university or a community college level, because the community college plans are so much less expensive as well. But you can apply a community college plan toward a university plan as well. So you look at combining a tuition plan and a payment option that a family can afford.
So if you just wanted to buy right now, I wanted to buy one semester, how much would that be?
Well, I'd have to look at the price charts, because it also varies on the age of the child and the various payment options.
But you could buy as little as one semester?
Yes.
Okay. And what about the college investment plan?
Well, the college investment plan you can think of as mutual fund type of investing with tax benefits. And so here you're bearing the investment risk, and you can choose, though, how much you wish to invest. And you can start with as little as $25 a month, and then choose from a variety of investment options that are managed for the state by T. Rowe Price. And based on how much you invest and how that investment performs over time, you can use the balance in your account toward any eligible college expenses, which could be tuition, fees. Here you can cover room and board and books and supplies as well, again, at schools in or out of Maryland.
The Maryland College Savings Plan is an independent state agency, correct?
Correct.
What do you mean independent state agency?
Meaning we don't receive money from the state, from the state's general fund to fund our operations, and we are also governed by the College Savings Plans of Maryland Board, which by state law includes 5 officers of the state treasurer, comptroller, superintendent of schools, chancellor of the university system, and secretary of higher education, as well as 5 members of the private sector who are appointed by the governor on staggered terms.
Okay. And what happens if your child decides not to go to college?
Well, first of all, you don't have to do anything. I like to say let that child see what life is like with any amount of higher education, and hopefully they'll come back and decide to use the money. But at any time, the family can change the beneficiary, the child's name on the account, to a wide range of other family members of that original child. Or if they take their money out of the plans, they'll get back what they paid in, plus a portion of the earnings. If they've been in the prepaid plan more than 3 years, they get back 90% of what we earn. In the investment plan, you can get back 100% of what you earn, but you will pay taxes on just the amount of any earnings and a 10% penalty, again, just on the earnings if you don't use the money for eligible college costs.
Just on the earnings.
And
Right.
I just want to point out, I think savingforcollege.com and Morningstar generally rate the Maryland savings plans pretty highly. So.
Morningstar gave our college investment plan a top rating.
Right.
And there was only one of 5 plans in the country to get that.
Right.
Joan Marshall is Executive Director of the Maryland College Savings Plan, and with us in Studio A as well is Kim Clark, who writes about higher education and personal finance for Money Magazine. Let's go back to the phone lines. And Joan, if you want to contribute to any of the answers to the questions our listeners pose, feel free, okay?
Sure.
Catherine in Baltimore, we'll go to you next. Thanks for calling Midday.
Hi there.
Hi.
Thanks for taking my comment and question. I just wanted to comment on the conversation about the IBR and income contingent plans and just point out that if you're not paying any payments or you're not paying enough, you could have quite a bit of interest that's capitalizing, I guess that's the term, back onto the loan, which is a situation I'm dealing with right now.
Yes, that is true. It does add up, but at least you're not getting fees for being late, and at least they're not hounding you. So, I mean, there are some good things about it. Mm-hmm. But secondly, if you continue to make your income-based repayments for 25 years, which I realize is a long time, after 25 years, they'll cancel any remaining debt. So that's a long time. But
there is a long time.
There is a light at the end of the very long tunnel.
Catherine, that was your question, whether it was 10 years or 25.
It's 10 years for public service.
10 if you're in public service, right?
Right.
Yes.
And 25 years if you're just low income.
All right. Thank you very much. To Crumpton, Maryland, on the Eastern Shore. Charles, you're on Midday. Hi.
Thank you. Just an observation and a question, really. Isn't part of the issue with college education supply and demand, and that there's too much demand for higher education, particularly from kids who are directed toward college by well-meaning guidance counselors, subsequently drop out after a year or two, and who would have been better served from the outset to go to some sort of a trade school?
I totally agree. I mean, not everybody wants to sit in a classroom and read Milton. Mm-hmm. And it's not really a liberal arts education is a wonderful thing. I'm certainly a beneficiary of it, but a lot of people would enjoy jobs that, you know, being a plumber makes a lot of money. You have a nice skill. There's really not enough occupational education.
I'd agree with that, too. I would just point out that money from our college investment plan can also be used toward a wide variety of trade and technical schools, as long as the school is eligible to accept federal financial aid and accredited through the U.S. Department of Education. You know,
I've had several college professors on this program. They're all representing liberal arts colleges, and I've asked that. They're the wrong person to be asking this question to, but they have heard from parents during different stages of the admissions process. They do get these questions about, what is the liberal arts education going to get my kid? Would he be better off learning to be a mason?
Right. Yeah.
You know, and we don't. I don't know that we.
The problem is in this economy.
I can't get a clear answer on where we are with that. It's all pushed. Everything's pushed toward the 4-year college and higher ed.
I mean,
why?
The problem is that Bethlehem Steel is not hiring anybody right now, right?
I understand that.
I mean, so where are the blue collar jobs? Where are the knowledge worker jobs these days? I mean,
but we also have people with college diplomas looking for work too these days. 410-662-8780. I'm sorry, Joan. You mentioned that the college savings plan in Maryland's been around since '99.
The prepaid plan since '98. The investment plan since 2001.
How many people are enrolled in it?
There's about 30,000 people in the prepaid college trust and more like 130,000 in the investment plan. And that's because people tend to look at that 4-year university price in the prepaid college trust. And if they can't do that $437 a month, then they tend to gravitate toward the investment plan where they can put in as little as $25 a month. Mm-hmm. But we also try to get the message across that they can buy less than 4 years of college in the prepaid plan if they like that as an option.
I see. So that explains the increased numbers there.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Good, because there are so many options available to people of different income levels.
Right.
William in Baltimore, you're on next. Go right ahead, please. William, you're on the air.
I just wanted to ask one question of your guest. That is, as is referred to the loan forgiveness for those that work in public service.
Yep.
Yes.
I want to know what category of public service qualify.
Well, I don't have it memorized, but you can go to the Department of Education's website and look for that. I mean, I'm sure they have a very extensive list, but generally it's public, nonprofit, or government jobs. I would say those are the two big sectors.
Almost any government job.
Just about any government job.
Yeah, it's not just limited to teaching.
No, I mean, if you work for your town government, your county government, or a nonprofit, I'm pretty sure that pretty much covers it.
And you have to make all your payments on time for
You
10
do.
years, but
Right.
whatever's left after that is forgiven. It's pretty good. I know a bunch of college students who have been looking at and getting information about it. Miracle in Baltimore. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I just wanted to comment. I'm originally from Washington State, and Washington State has a program for high school juniors and seniors called Running Start, where students are able to take full-time college classes at the local community college for free, paid for by the state, and they only have to pay for books and things like that. I did this for 2 years. I graduated from high school with my associate's degree, and then rolled right into a traditional four-year university where I was able to get my undergrad degree. As a result of that, I was able to save on 2 years of college. So I was wondering, I mean, what kind of, are there more programs like this? I'm new to Maryland, so I don't know if Maryland has anything like this for high school students, but I know that there would be more students interested in things like this if they're able to, take some college classes while they're in high school, get some credits taken care of, and save a lot of money in the process.
Yeah.
And what about the 3-year college?
Yeah. Okay. So
There's a way to save some money,
okay, so
maybe.
first of all, there's a lot of different programs. Of course, there's AP classes that students can take. If students are in a high school that doesn't have an AP program, they can study for themselves and take what's called a CLEP test, College Learning something, CLEP. So they pay $80. They study for themselves. They take this test, and they can, pass English 101 or History 101 or something. And I think
They can also take an AP test without being in the AP class. My
that's
son
true.
did that.
Right.
Kim, have you heard anything more on the 3-year undergraduate degree?
Yeah, a lot of schools have tried this, and everybody's promoting this as an alternative, but frankly, the experience has not been great. I mean, most students don't, they like being in college.
For 4 years? They like senior year?
Yeah, sure. And also, it's actually really hard. You have to take a lot of classes. You have to go over the summer. So a lot of schools offer this, but not many students actually
Schools offer it, so you can get it done on time if you want to do that. Are you going to save any money, though? You're
Sure. You save
you
a
do
year.
save? You save a year in room and board if you live away. But
and a lot of schools, you save the year of tuition.
You don't save much because you're still paying for credits, aren't you?
Some schools just charge you for the year. They
For
don't
the
charge
year.
you for the tuition.
Okay. And Joan Marshall, I wanted to ask you, that for folks who are interested in enrolling in the Maryland College Savings Plan, they can do all this online?
Yes, collegesavingsmd.org. The prepaid plan has a limited enrollment period each year. It will open on December 1st and go through the beginning of April, but the investment plan is open at any time, and people can enroll online. They can get all the information on that website, collegesavingsmd.org.
And so you can get direct deposit right out of your paycheck into your
Yes,
kids'
payroll
future.
deduction if the employers will do it as well.
And you can have grandparents, right, can start one for their grandkids.
Yes, there are different issues related to the Maryland income deduction, though, associated with that, because grandparents may want to have their own account, and then they can get the benefit of the Maryland income deduction if they're the account holder.
Kelly is in Edgewater and has a question. We have time for one more question, I think, in this hour. Go right ahead, Kelly.
Yes, hello. My daughter has been enrolled in the prepaid college trust, and she is a senior this year. And I am just wondering how to go about accessing the benefits for her. It's just a coincidence that you were talking about this today on the show, and for the last couple weeks I have been trying to find out, maybe a little prematurely, how I go about accessing the funding. Is it something that is it paid to the parents directly?
Well, sorry you've had a problem getting an answer to that, but it's very easy, in that you'll be getting a letter from us in June called a tuition benefit claim form. And on that claim form, when you get an invoice from the college that she'll be attending, you can let us know. Do you want us to pay her tuition benefit directly to the college? Or if you want to pay it, we will be happy to reimburse you as long as you also provide us with proof of your payment. So the decision is up to you, and you can fill out that claim form for every semester where your child is eligible to use tuition benefits.
But you wouldn't hear about that until June.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And you said the sign-up period begins in
The enrollment period
December?
begins December 1st and will run through April 2nd.
Okay. CollegeSavingsMD.org is the website if you want some more information about the Maryland College Savings Plan.